What's good, everybody? This is The Focus with Javon Adams. My name is Javon Adams. You can call me Jay or J Love. I do this thing 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So please like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend and tell a friend about what I have going on here. I do appreciate it. And so today, I want to talk about, and these are a lot of these things that I talk about are kind of maybe in the same quadrant, or at least in the same graph, different quadrants of the graph. But for today, I want to talk about how to reach greatness, or at least get closer to it, or get on the journey for it. And there's 4 things that I want to talk about here. So the first one is pump yourself up. So pump yourself up. So what do I mean by pump yourself up? Find a mentor. You've probably heard people say that to you. If you're trying to get to a certain place, whether it's physically, whether it's running, whether it's professionally, personally, all those things, find somebody who's already doing it or has done it, and then be able to talk to them and try to get some guidance that way. The next one is, meditation. Maybe meditation, so to pump yourself up, to put yourself in the right mind frame, because doubt can creep in no matter what. Some people are afraid of success. Some people are afraid of failure. Some people are afraid of a combination thereof. So if you can try to keep yourself at least in that positive mindset, even when those obstacles and those challenges come about, at least you'll be better prepared for them, or at least being able to try to navigate and understand what's going on and what's happening for you there. Positive affirmations kind of goes along the same way with meditation or praying or whatever that might be to free yourself up. That might even be working out. So in terms of meditation, maybe putting yourself again in that right mind frame to attack the day, or at the end of a long day, or in the middle of a long day. Oftentimes people will. I do like it when I, for example, start the day off with either running or heading to the gym. I don't do it as often as I should, but that might be something that I need to tweak. And we always talk about adjusting and navigating. I used to tell my youngest son, navigate the waters, navigate in terms of where, in this case, I was referring to different teachers that he would come across, different expectations for different teachers, right? As far as the way in which they want you to, the policies or the routines that they want you to have. So, and then the last part of this first one, which is pump yourself up, shrink your circle. So how do you pump yourself up? By shrinking your circle. If every time you mention something, hey, I'm about to go ahead and try, I'm focusing on trying to get myself in shape, and people are shooting you down, maybe because you tried 5, 10, 15, 20 times before and been unsuccessful. So instead of trying to encourage you, they're telling you all the things that you've done to fail or why you'll fail. Same thing would be if you're trying a new business idea, or if you are looking for a new job. Well, what makes you think you'll be a good manager? What makes you think that you'll be able to switch industries? Shrink your circle to be able to find people that are at least encouraging. They don't have to pat you on the back all the time, but at least to be able to give you constructive advice, as opposed to telling you that you just can't do something. So that's the first one out of the 4 things that can at least get you a little bit closer to greatness. Second one is get started. I'm guilty of this. I'll raise my hand, where you have so many ideas. And so instead of, what I kind of wrote down in my notes here is that planning is good and should be done at all times. But if you have no skin in the game, then how will you know when to adjust or when to throw in the towel? And the hardest thing is to get started. The second hardest thing is to continue. So the hardest thing is to get started, because you're just so unsure, because you're wondering if you're going to fail, if you're going to, and that's what I have here a little bit later. If you're going to fail, what's going to happen? Are you going to be successful? What's going on here? What will people think of you? But get started, because you can't make changes until you start. So that's the second one. So the first one is pump yourself up. The second one is get started. And the third one, accept that failure is a part of the process. I just mentioned, accept that failure is a part of the process. And that can often be the toughest thing. Even if you feel that you're going to be successful right out the bat, that can be easier to start if you know that you're going, if certainty is a higher probability, then that can be something that you feel more comfortable with starting. But if it's not, then what do you do then, right? So it's accept that failure is a part of the process. That's how we learn. We didn't start out walking. We didn't start out running. We took a step, we fell, we took another couple of steps, and we fell again. That's how we get to it. I have people that I know in various segments that are supremely successful, but they had to start from somewhere, made some failures, had to make some tweaks and adjustments along the way. And the fourth thing is routine is key. Routine is key. So those people that are whether they're millionaires or whether they're just successful in their field or whether they found their purpose and are happy, they stick to a routine. So sometimes that routine could be chaos, but more often than not, that routine is maybe when they get up in the morning. I'm just throwing something out there. They get up in the morning, maybe they pray and they say what they're thankful for. Maybe they journal every day 10 minutes before they go to bed. Perhaps they hit the gym at lunch every day, and then they make sure to give themselves 30 or 40 minutes to just be creative. Whatever those things are, there are a myriad of things that are out there, but find that routine that's good for you and stick to it. And the why, we all know what it is. It's sometimes a lot of these things that either that I'm sharing with you have been shared with me or that I've read, and sometimes it doesn't click until the 5th, 6th, 20th, 30th time that you come across it. But the reason why is because when people say you have to be motivated, yes, motivation is really cool, and I've mentioned it a couple times here on The Focus, is that when motivation, those days when you're not motivated, those days, those weeks, those months when you're not motivated, if you have the routine and that consistency kind of built into your schedule, that's going to help you to really get over the hump, right? So those are the 4 things, at least to get you on the road to greatness. And there's so many different things in between and maybe additional steps and suggestions to think about. So again, those 4 things to get you on that path to greatness or success, or maybe even figuring out it's a different path that you're supposed to be on altogether. Number 1, pump yourself up. Number 2, get started. Number 3, accept that failure is part of the process. And number 4, routine is key. Many of those. So let me know in the comments especially if you're on Spotify listening. And I want to say thank you to those who are following and subscribing on Spotify and across all the different streaming platforms. But I do appreciate you. Tell a friend about what I have going on here. Share, like, subscribe, rate as high as you can. And as I always like to say around this time, you can.